lit up. There isn't these amazing bits where this light can go on in this room and this light goes off in this room, and, which is so amazing when people do it. I just, I don't have the tech savvy. In the long run, I could figure out how to do it, but I don't have the desire. I'm lazy that way. I don't want to make myself do it. And I'm happy. The worst thing.
Well, that's the key thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and that's the worst thing in the world in some ways is that you obviously know me, and so you've probably seen my layout on TV once or something like that.
Oh, I've seen it
quite a few times.
Yes,
It's the worst thing is I got all the track working before I really started building any scenery, and so I stopped because my trains are running. That's all I needed. And I did build the Delman Horse Station and bus center, and that's been the big holdup because I want that bus station working before I go any further. And I had it working 4 years ago, and then I decided, okay, I'll make it digital so I can control it from over here. And then and I've tried to start it 3 times since, and I can't get it. Can't.
Welcome, because we are live.
We are live.
We are live with Anthony and Joyce, and my wife Heather somewhere in the background. I don't think we can see Joyce at the moment. You want to sit down and you might fit in the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I'll leave you to it. Oh, Joyce, you sound so froggy.
Oh, I am just getting over a cold.
Oh, yes, do mind the mats, Anthony.
I'm rolling the... Oh, yeah, that's my office in the bedroom. Yeah, same thing.
Leg to clear.
Ah, there we are.
So, there you are there. That's what's going on.
Oh, do I? Oh, my goodness. I'm just making a mess of everything.
No, that's all right. It's one of those things. Because I've had to move stuff to put the big in. Anyway, we're live, and here we are with Anthony, who's come all the way from America.
Yes.
To meet me, and I'm really honoured, really.
I'm honoured. This is amazing. Since I came across your channel a few years ago, I've loved what you do in your city, and obviously you've been through a lot since then.
Been through a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's an understatement.
Been through a lot. When I had a heart attack before I had the cancer.
Right.
And I went and saw my heart specialist after I had the big operation, and she kept asking me all these questions, and finally she said, "So, how'd your heart go?" She was more interested in what I went through, and that I was still here.
Right.
But yeah, that was quite funny. Anyway, so here we are in the train room, and I'm still working. This is a new mixer.
Ah, okay.
So let's have a look. If I find where we are, somewhere there.
So.
No, I've missed it. No, here we go.
So it is, what, 9:30 p.m. back home? 9:30 p.m. back home.
Yeah,
okay.
Nissy's doing
unfortunately, we're competing with Nissy.
Well, they started at 8, so they should have been over by now.
That's what I thought. I went at 11 o'clock. They're normally finished.
Right.
So yeah, this is the little bit of layout, and there's probably lots of things that haven't shown up on the videos because I've just done them, and I haven't been well enough to actually set everything up. So finally, I've got this set up that. Now it's easier to put it together rather than, it used to take me 2 hours to set up. And now with the new mixer, I've also been able to, rather than have the green screens, it's got a built-in green screen.
Right.
And so I'm just starting to play with it because I just haven't been able to, and I'm suffering today, but this is. Because my tablets have been upped.
Right.
And I feel sick.
Right.
Well, you got to make sure you let us know when
Oh, no, please, no, don't get that wrong.
Right.
It's just this tablet makes me feel very nauseous, and
right.
It's a nasty tablet, makes me dizzy. So I use a walking stick these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I don't use one around the house, but
just in case.
Just in case.
Just to keep your balance.
Yeah, so
See, I come in and your broadcasting and programming gadgetry is what really excites me. I mean, the trains are gorgeous too, but because of what I do with my live stream, where I have the multitude of cameras and that, and I just run them all into my computer, and now and then one camera and another camera won't like each other.
I know.
They just, if this camera's plugged in, this one's not going to work.
So all the cameras are plugged into the Vision Mixer.
Okay.
Right. And so I've got 5 cameras. And so with camera 1 is the one we're on now.
Okay.
And we'll go to camera 2. And camera 2 is there.
Right.
So I've got the split screen on. So we can see 2 things at once. I can actually turn that off. I think. There's the next camera.
And are you using OBS there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm using
Looks
OBS.
familiar.
Yeah. So I use OBS. I can actually use other things, but at the moment I'm using OBS because I haven't.
I've tried others and I keep coming back to OBS.
I think I just lost the train.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, this is it. That'll get it off.
Yeah. Do you want to just pull them off?
Take this one off?
Yeah, just pull them straight off. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the easiest way for the moment. Of course.
Because, yes, he's coming through,
when
he lost 2 of his cars.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah.
of course. I find with some of them, it's the actual carriages themselves that I'm still got to find a decent connection.
Right.
Okay.
Because you'll see the couplers, they'll sort of do, and there's not a lot of play in them.
Okay.
So, whereas the DMU is, but see, there's what happens is they've got a little bit, but if you actually push it down, it gets locked.
Right.
And when it gets locked, so if it bumps or something, then it won't turn.
Right.
Right.
But you know, as you know, when you have somebody here, everything always
Oh,
goes
of course.
wrong.
Right.
I should actually
Don't have to have anybody here, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Yes, but the more people you
yesterday
have,
when I
more
was doing all
likely.
this, right,
Right.
I had the power supply from my mixer die on me,
Oh.
right, and it took the whole system out, and I had to pull everything apart to try and figure it out.
Oh my goodness, our mixer's going to be on your Christmas list?
So,
I don't know. I keep looking at things like this where I could plug all the cameras into that and not have
but
them on
this is HDMI, not USB.
Right. But I can get adapters.
Yes, you can. I've got an adapter under there. That camera there that my cat bought
Right.
is actually USB.
Okay.
So I've got a little.
Cat bought a really good camera.
I've got a USB converter,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
And then, because this has 5 inputs, because I went, how am I going to use this extra camera? So we probably should put us back on. What I did was, let's go picture in picture.
Should tell her.
Sorry, there we go. So what I did was I upgraded the mixer. I sold the other one, and I've gone SDI, so I actually convert, and I've got an SDI under there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right, and so that gives me 5 channels. So I've got the DVR, which gives me 8 cameras,
Okay.
which are all the inbuilt little tiny cameras hidden away
Yes.
Right.
in different spots.
Because I would like to do that where I could actually hide them, or where they're not so prominent as the cameras are when my trains are running.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's have it. We've got the wrong. No, let's put a corner.
Because there's a gentleman, I forget his channel's name, but he's a DIY guy, but he's in IT India.
Yep.
And he shows how you can take the cameras out of laptops and just rewire them and
Yes,
connect
you
them to
can.
USB or even HDMI lines. And then Heath Hurwitz,
Yep.
he kind of did that. He had all these little
Oh, he had
cameras.
the Arduino ones, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But he also did the like he bought a bag of them, you know, $50 for 10 of them or
right.
whatever. And you know, where you could just stick them somewhere where they're so non-obtrusive. They're just
Yep.
out of the way, or like you did, where you have one in the tunnels. You have them in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Because I would love to put one inside my station. Because number one, I'd like one under one of the canopies in the station, so you could actually see trains coming through the station. I have a camera that is from a distance, shows the trains coming through the
Yes,
station,
yeah.
but I would like to get it up close and have it, you know, just with the people next to the camera view, and so, you know, and just kind of a more realistic shot. I've always wanted to do that, but there's really no way to mount the camera. I've tried a long time ago. I mounted a piece of wood onto the sideboard
Yeah.
and stuck a camera there, and the problem is the wire, getting the wires over there, and that is just a bit of a
It's a bit of a pain, yeah.
A bit of a
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, see, I started with the cameras because before I put the tunnel bit in, I started over there, and so to mount the top board on, originally I was going to run a track across the top,
right.
and I started doing that, but the moving bus system stuffed it all up because
Okay.
right. But so I thought, well, before I put the top on, I'll put cameras in, because how do you know where the train is?
Right.
And that's the biggest problem, particularly with this very long run. You've got to know where. So that's why I've got the cameras, so I can see what's in the tunnel. And you can go, oh, that's in, and then I can lift the right panel, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, right, that I can open up.
Right. And see, like with my Dominor station, I built the entire interior is done. You know,
Yep.
I have shops in there, I have people in there, but nobody will ever see it. Because I built it, and then the track goes across the top of it, and then the boards are screwed down in. It does not lift out. So I built that. It's all sealed in. So nobody but me knows what's inside
Actually,
that
you know
station.
what? I don't know. No, I don't think it's here. What you could do is you can buy. I'm trying to think of the right word. Like drainage pipe camera.
Right, we call them snake cameras.
Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Sorry, my chronic fatigue sometimes.
No.
Anyway, you can get the tiny little ones with a wireless connection on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a stretchy arm. I've got one somewhere, and you could put that in there.
And I've been looking at that. The problem is mine are wired. If I could do wireless, that would be perfect, because I could stick it on the
Well,
station.
this is wireless,
and
so
just
it
like
has
have a USB port where my computer would read it.
Yeah, it has a little battery pack,
Okay.
right? Must be
Wow,
in
that
the
would
car.
be too cool. That would be too cool. I'll have
And
to
not
look
very
into that.
expensive. The other thing is, I'm just going to grab. I bought this by mistake, so you know, I can find it. Of course, everything's all over the place, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for anything.
It's one of those.
You should see mine.
It's one of those things, you know, when I got the chance to do it. No, I can't find it. Of course, I can't find it. It's one of those things that when I got the chance to be able to extend, I thought I've got to extend. I've just got to do it. No, I can't find it. But yeah, I thought I had one out, but you can see the little cameras and they're only tiny little cameras. So, but they're all DVR cameras, not USB, and the reason why is because I had a spare DVR. and that's what started us. So
Yeah.
if we do 1 and 4, so.
But you know, if you think of the difference in scale, N scale to HO, and of course you think of the size of my layout, my mess is ridiculous. I'm jealous of your organization here. No matter how messy you think it is, no matter how messy you think it is.
Let me trust me. I cleaned up for you.
Fair
No,
enough.
but not only just for you. When I cleaned the rack out, but we've still got stuff elsewhere from in here
Right.
because I've got no storage yet because I haven't finished.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to extend the bench out a bit more.
Okay.
Right, but I haven't got that far.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm limited.
Yes.
I run out with my chronic fatigue, my pain. So you know, because of all my muscles being cut, right, all my muscles in everywhere,
Right.
I can do that, and I can be in tears.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so it's sometimes a real struggle for me to do a lot. Now,
Yes.
I push myself to do this because otherwise, when Heather said I could do it, I better do it.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But also my grandson's helped
Sure.
Like-
because he's so into it.
Right. He's enthusiastic.
Like the
Yes.
one
Yeah.
phrase that I don't think she regrets, but she wonders just to what detail. Honey, why don't you just take the basement?
Well, I finally got, why don't you just use the garage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And so I did take the basement, and then I keep trying. Now she has held firm on some things like, honey, we got that bar there. We don't use that bar. If I took that bar out, I could have built out farther and come around. She's like, no, we're keeping the bar,
yep.
which is now basically my workspace.
Yeah, well,
I'll
I
come
used
to
to, in actual fact, you see that bit across there?
Uh-huh.
That used to be here,
Right. Yeah, that's right.
right? But because of all this, I can't reach that far.
Right.
Right.
So I pulled that all out and I used that as a workbench, but it took up too much space and it was. So I had it on the trolley over there. So we had this trolley built. I used to work as an IT guy, but we've got this incredible timber, right? So you'll see in the kitchen where the mixer is. There's this incredible piece of wood, right, with all these blocks, right? That you will never ever get anything like that. They have like 30 coats of stuff on them, and they were all samples. And when the company sort of shut down, merged a whole lot of stuff during the GFC, they're going to chuck all these samples out.
Okay.
So we made the trolley,
Sure.
and that top sits on top of that. So it's all
Right.
Australian gum, ghost gum, and
Sure.
some really nice wood. And that used to sit on top of it, and I couldn't move, and I was struggling, and I took it off.
Okay.
And so what I've done is, it looks a hodgepodge because I'm still working on it, but I've taken and recycled. Right, so a lot of this stuff is recycled. So one of our old desks is in here. But I'm still sort of working on it and keep modifying it, and we'll get there eventually.
Because that was my original goal when I started the form of the layout it now has, is I wanted to buy a bunch of old kitchen cabinets.
Yep,
30 inches tall,
yep,
and all the drawers and storage, and I was just going to line them up and build on top of it. The problem is I wanted to buy old, recycle. And we have a place. It's run by Habitats for Humanity, which is the Jimmy Carter organization that builds homes for the homeless and such.
Yep.
And this place used to be great. You could go there and say, here's 10 cabinets, $10 each. Well, the guy that runs this particular store in our area has decided to profiteer a bit. Now it's like, these are $150 each.
that's often the case.
Yeah, and it's too much.
And so I wound up
Do a different plan.
I went cheaper and used legs and built, the framing I now have. And the problem is I over-engineer. I build it so it can withstand a sledgehammer.
Yep. Yeah.
Just in case I lose my temper and grab a sledgehammer.
Well, I tell you what, I did a couple of times last week. I was ready to, but all mine's built on offcuts, right? So our hardware store, big hardware store, Bunnings. If you see, there's all these posts here.
Yeah.
They're $3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all the same size,
Nice.
right? So everything's built on that 900 mil.
Sure.
So it's 900 mil, 900 mil, 900 mil, 900 mil, 900
Right.
mil. And then it's got a few extensions to it. Originally I sort of snuck that in because I wanted to be able to have a circle, you know. I
Yes.
didn't want end to end, I wanted a
Right.
loop. And then I snuck in that bit, but that went up and down.
Okay.
And then you sort of grown.
Right.
And finally we've got to the point that now I'm allowed to use more of the garage. So
I will say, I'm just now, for the first time ever, noticing your giant swans. Or
that's I was wondering whether you'd noticed that.
Oh yeah, because
Do you know why
about
they're
the
there?
same size as the loco.
why are they there?
Grandson,
Oh, okay.
he has a thing about ducks,
Okay.
Oh.
swans,
Right.
and so there's a few animals that I've just popped in
Okay.
because I've got the cows in front there.
Yeah.
But
I knew those. I was just sitting here looking over here at
Yeah,
the playground
they're
area
big
and go,
enough. I think if you put them in front of
Well,
your
those are big.
trains, it would stop the
big, yeah.
train.
Well, actually, I have. Oh, you can't see it
and
by the
the
train.
sheep there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those.
So those are almost like
Oh,
old
They
scale.
are very old.
Yeah.
They were my mum's.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Right, my mum had them when I was a kid.
Look at
Right,
that-
so
look at
they
that connectiveness you have
so
on your layout.
they're really old. So they're from my grandson. There's a little volume control and a switch there, so I have a speaker behind there that runs noises. He likes to turn it up and
Okay,
down and switch the
sure.
switches.
Oh,
Right.
sure.
But I actually bought,
That's
if
nice.
I move this out the way, see those?
Oh, the electrical boxes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were N scale.
Okay.
And when you look at them,
Yeah.
they were
Let's go.
mislabeled. They were actually HO, and I didn't
was gonna say,
realise.
yeah.
Okay, because they're not the right size.
No,
Well,
they're
they're-
not. And I
Yeah.
went, oh, okay. And I thought, well, I chuck them out. I went, it's my layout.
Right.
I'll do
Oh.
what I want.
Exactly.
So that's why they're there,
So we
because
have geese
I-
and ducks and sheep.
I spent
and...
I spent time putting them all together and didn't realise because I didn't do them in here, you see. And
Sure.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it looked okay when you put it together. Yeah.
oh, dear,
That's
so.
funny.
So yeah, and of course, look, you know, I have all these gadgets, but I have actually done video. I've done corporate videos.
Right.
Friend of ours has a cafe locally. It's a food share. So they go to places like Aldi and get all the excess damaged stuff and then distribute it.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And they run a cafe where they actually train kids, so the dropout kids or kids who are struggling. So I've done a video for them, and
Nice.
I've done weddings and other things. So that's why I'm going to start off with a really good camera over there,
Right. yeah.
and that's why I have it. I mean, I've always been into. I mean, I've had a video camera since Video 8 days. You know, the first Video 8 came
Right.
out.
Right.
But even as an apprentice, when I was apprentice with Sanyo, and we had video cameras and black and white porta packs that were huge, but you know, so I've always been into audio visual stuff.
I have always loved the tech, audio, visual. Like Joyce will tell you, I mean, when in the old days when you had a TV and the big deluxe stereo systems I had,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
wired up, you know, before you could get the really good 5.1 channel stuff, or
Yep.
we could afford it. I had fake.
Yeah, I had one too. Yeah. Yep.
Where I just took speakers and wired them differently and set it up around, so it was more quadraphonic, but it gave you that sense of surround sound. And then when we could afford the one, you know, we would put it in. Loved the tech
Yeah.
and the gadgets.
I'm the gadget. Well, that's why I was an IT guy. I got all the gadgets.
my thing is, as a kid growing up, I wasn't really exposed to it. And I had friends, when I got into high school, I had friends, like a kid I knew in school, Robert Sturgill. His dad was a big IT guy for a big American corporation centered in Toledo called Dana Corporation, which computer programming, computer security, and all that. So Robert Sturgill grew up playing with computers. So I'd go over to his house, and it took me about half an hour, 45 minutes to ride my bike to his house, and he would be building computers. You know, and this is 1981, 1982. The TRS-80 was only a few years on the market at the time. But he's building all this stuff, and it was the first experiences I had, because we had a class where you had to make a movie. It was called Communications Arts, so you had to make a movie.
Yep.
And when you either had to make you had to make a series of 1-minute commercials, like, you know, making products and advertising, or you can make one 10-minute movie.
Yep.
Well, I elected to do the 10-minute movie. And it turned into a half-hour movie.
Sorry, I just suddenly thought about chat.
I was looking up here.
Yeah, that's only the top chat.
Yeah, but that's
I
one of the big confusions is people think Top Chat only shows. The only thing that doesn't get posted in Top Chat is if they think it's like an ad or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was trying to do with my phone, is I was going to try to post a message and tell people, come to this channel, we're live.
Right.
Because the UK people are well tucked in bed.
Chat, you can move it to live chat.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have to do that all the time on there.
Yes, you're right.
Well, yeah.
So I think it's sharing.
But really,
That's all right. Well, we've got
If
5
people
people watching, so.
Say hello.
But given that we unstructured,
unannounced and everything else.
Unannounced and of course.
So, I've always been into that, and as I said, I've done weddings and always been playing and done corporate videos.
We never even had one of those old Super 8 video cameras.
We
didn't have one of those.
No.
But so in high school, we finally, you know, you got assigned teams, and I did a Star Trek parody movie, which was kind of funny. So I was doing parodies all the way back, but it was the first time I got to play with a camera, and first time I had any explanation of trying to do special effects, the old-fashioned special effects where you took your negative and scratched it.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, did an ad. Of course, there were a couple of kids at the school that when they did their movies, their special effects were exquisite because they
had the better tech.
they had the tech, but they also had years of experiences and stuff they were doing. You know, I didn't even have one of those build your own radio kits.
Oh, I had
as
one.
a kid.
Well, no, I didn't. I had a short wave.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and used to listen to you know, things like sounds like Voice of America, and in fact, I actually heard, and funny story. Who was it? Now I've lost it. My brain's got my chronic fatigue's kicked in. There was a band that was a brand new one that was released in America, and it was on Voice of America. It was 2 years before it came here.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ricky, Don't Lose Your Number.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Sure.
And
That was who did that song? That was Steely Dan, right?
Steely Dan,
Yeah,
thank
Steely
you.
Dan,
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know that, but so I was really into that, and
Sure.
I was into CBs when we got CBs, and
Okay.
Right.
Right.
and I did an apprenticeship in electronics, so I worked for Sanyo,
Okay.
which was good in some ways because I met some very interesting people.
Indeed.
We sponsored the Paul Hogan show
Oh,
before
okay.
Paul Hogan became
Became
very
big,
famous.
Right.
So
before he was
I
somebody.
met Paul Hogan, and I've met the whole crew, his manager, etc., etc. We had a private supper with them.
Oh, nice.
So, and I've met quite a few other people, just when I was working in radio, I've worked with quite a few big celebrities. One of them, maybe you'll know, a guy who's no longer alive, but a guy called Bud Tingwell, used to be in the original Miss Marple.
Oh, right,
He
okay.
played the cop.
Yes.
Right. Well, he in Australia was known as the actor's actor. And I've worked with him.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of production work, and my ads used to be played. Oh, we used to do certain ads. One which was for White Canes, and there was a White Cane Day. The other one was the Association for the Blind, who I was working for, had this big drive, so I had to do 155 ads, each individual.
Wow.
Right.
That's a lot.
So I used 2 celebrities, and I picked this music, and I was given so much grief and told you can't do it. And so,
Aw.
because they didn't like the music, got to change the music. I went, no, this will work. Anyway, we got the 2 people in, and I said, I want you to come in here, and this guy, Michael McCarthy, who was the next newsreader on one of the TV channels, went, oh, I can come in here. And so he came in here, and then I had a female voice, which was, she used to be on Adelaide TV, the kids show, but her husband was Ernie Sigley, who's a well-known Tonight presenter.
Okay.
And so we had these 2 people in, we did all these ads, and the guys who told me I couldn't do it just sat there and went, their jaw dropped in there. And anyway, so I was driving along one day, doing something for the station, but out in the car, and I was listening to one of the FM stations, and this FM station was known never to play community service announcements.
Okay.
I nearly bingled the car. I heard mine, and I went,
Really? Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
so that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, only famous people I met was I was a caddy, a golf caddy.
yep.
And in Toledo we had a club, well, we still have a club called Inverness. But the 1979 U.S. Open was there, the
Yep.
1986 PGA Championship was there. But I was a caddy from 77 to 80 at so back in 1979 when the U.S. PGA Championship, or the U.S. Open was there, the U.S. Open was there. Back then they didn't televise the Thursday and Friday rounds. And so they just had local caddies do all the general work. The pros all had their own caddies, but we basically raked the sand traps and had other things we did. So on Thursday and Friday, you'd be assigned, okay, for 3 hours you're on hole 17, and you're going to rake the holes after the pros walk through. If they get caught in the sand traps, blah, 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 you're going to help spot, blah, blah, whatever. Because once the TV crews came in Saturday morning, actually they came in Friday night, started setting up. But once they came in, the PGA brought in their professional people
Right.
to
Yes.
work all the
You were
holes.
out,
So
yeah.
I was high enough, I got to work there. But, the thing is, where you're assigned, you're do not approach, do not talk to,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
I know.
blah,
Yep,
all
yep.
that. And, but they would come to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had to hope somebody hit it in your area, because they'd say, did you see where my ball hit there? Oh, yes, sir, it's over there. Or they're in the sand trap, and they would ask for a rake or something like that, or after they got, but they would talk to you. And unfortunately, I had a friend that had worked a lesser golf tournament, and he says, make sure you have a white baseball cap and a black Sharpie. I was like, why?
Just trust me.
Trust me.
Yeah.
So the pros would come over and they would see the white hat, and they'd say, you got a Sharpie? Yes, sir. I'd say, would you like me to sign your hat? And my first thought is, why would you mess up my nice white hat? I was like, no, oh no, autograph, got it. And the thing was, over the 2 days I worked, Chichi Rodriguez, famous golfer in the 70s, had hit one right on the cusp of the trap, and I was there, and one other lesser known guy that I still don't remember who signed the cap, and Chi-Chi walked over to get out of the way and stood by me and said, so you, it's been a good day for the golfers coming through. And I go, yes, sir. I see you've only got one signature on your hat. Yes, sir. And I knew who Chi-Chi was. And he's like, do you want me to sign it for you? You got your black marker? I said, yeah. Okay, so he signed my hat. So he was the second person to sign it, but the first big name.
Right.
And then a little later, Lanny Watkins came in and signed it. And then I went to a different hole, and Lee Trevino hit it into near a water hazard where I was at. And he walked over and says, so boy, who signed your hat? And he says, oh, you got Chi-Chi to sign it? Well, if he can sign it, I guess I can sign it. And he pulled out. My hat would have been worth a fortune if I had gotten Hale Irwin. But, you know, you got to, where you're working, you got to hope they mishit it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they got to have a bad shot.
It's got to be a combination that on the hole you're at, they hit a bad shot over by where you're standing.
Right. Yeah.
So the odds of that. But, yeah, I had Lanny Watkins, Tom Weisskopf, not Tom Watson, and then Chi-Chi Rodriguez, Lee Trevino, and a few other guys. But those were the big names. Lanny Watkins, Tom Weisskopf, who was an Ohio State guy, and I was wearing an Ohio State T-shirt. That's what drew him over. You like the Buckeyes, huh? I went to Ohio State, won a national championship in golf at Ohio State. Very nice, sir. Very nice. You got your marker? Yes, sir. Here. Okay. I sold the hat for 1983 when I was 1982, 1983, and somebody gave me like $100 for it, $100 American dollars for it, and I thought, sucker. I'm like, oh crap, no, that group of signatures was worth $400, $500, $600.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You didn't know any better.
Well, I've met a few. I've met a friend of mine. We used to have in a basement of the church, used to have a folk club, and he was in England buying a nice Martin guitar.
Okay.
And he was sitting there, and this guy, American, no, Canadian, I can't remember what he is. Anyway, came up to him and chatted to him. They were talking about music, and he said, I've always wanted this particular song. He said, oh, I've got that. I'll send it to you, right? Anyway, so they chat for a while, and off they go. Then he gets the letter with the music in it. It was only Paul Stookie from Peter, Paul and Mary.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
When they came out here, he went to the concert backstage.
Yeah.
Now, he couldn't pull the whole lot back, but Paul Stookie came out and played for us. And he walked in, and he was, you know, after being on stage. We all met him, because I used to help out, and so, and I used to do the sound. Anyway, came in, we gave him a bit of cheesecake and a coffee, and he gets up on the stage, and he starts playing, and away he went. 2 hours. We had a private. There was 100 people. We rigged it so no one was allowed in, only by invitation. And we had this private concert with Paul Stookie.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
So, but yeah, if anybody's watching, that strange female voice is my wife Joyce, who is off camera behind
She's
me.
off camera. Yeah, she is actually off camera.
You could pull that chair over, but she's probably...
You could pull that one.
Getting her to do an hour on my show can be...
I'm
can
happy
pull
with
teeth.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm
That's
happy
all right.
here,
That's
honey.
okay.
I'm happy here.
So, and then the other one I met when I was talking about when we went to England for Christmas. And before we left, there was the anniversary of the Seekers. Now, you know, being a child of the 60s, and anyway, we thought, oh well, we'll go and see them.
Oh, there's Mystic. We got a visitor. Hey, John Mystic, share the word
Mystic
that we're on.
again. He was on last night at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
when I was doing a test, a 30-second test.
Oh, good Lord.
Um,
I have a hard enough time figuring out what time it is at home. I'm not going to figure out.
Anyway, so before the day we flew out, we had to leave at 9:30, and the tickets came online at 9, and I'm sitting there going, ticket. Couldn't get it. Finally, last chance, because the taxi was there, we had to go. got tickets. Mind you, it was in the nosebleed, but I
Right.
got tickets to the concert.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so we fly to England, and we get there. We've been there 2 days. We're in Trafalgar Square,
That's such random.
and
You might be working, but
It might be.
I was seeing if I could share
it
the.
was a premiere of, I don't know, of something or other. I forget what it was. And as I'm walking, my daughter and my wife were in the M&M store, and because she loved M&Ms, and you know, if you've been there, you'll know 6 floors of
Right,
M&Ms.
yes, I do know what you're talking about.
And anyway, I'm walking back. Who do I run into? One of the Seekers.
Oh.
Literally ran into him.
Wow.
Oh.
That's cool.
So talk about, you know, buying the tickets before I go and then running into him. And then one time I was in Harrods and I actually ran into, you know, what's his name? He's done the toy thing. He used to be with Clarkson. Oh, he did the trains, you know, the model train across the, he ran them so many miles.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, John says hi to you, Joyce.
Oh. Hi, John.
And so, yeah, I ran into him, and yeah, I've met a few people I've been fortunate to meet. Okay, let's see if we
Not
can
quite
get Joyce.
disembodied.
We're going to get Joyce in there.
Well, yeah, now you're blocked by my head.
Hang on, hang
Okay,
on.
I'm
2
here.
more inches over. 5 more inches over, dear. There you go.
That's all
There
I
you
got.
go. Now
There
you're
you go.
visible. Now, yes, this is Peter, Paul, and Mary version 3.
Right.
Since you're talking about Peter Stookie
Yeah.
there,
Right.
and then the Seekers. Didn't she just pass away recently?
Well,
Yeah.
the night we went to see them, they cut it short. And
Yes.
So-
actually, today's a nice day, John.
so they actually cut the concert. So they did the concert, but right at the end, normally, you know, there's an encore. There's no encore. They cut it short, and she took sick.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's a good reason.
And yeah, so but then she came back and they did another one. But yeah, so we got to see them a few months later. But yeah, met a few people, and been working in radio. I met a lot of celebrities.
Okay.
Sure.
Not that you would know, but Australian celebrities.
Right.
Right.
And became quite friendly. And I actually worked with some quite big Australian names. But as I said, Bud Tingwell, who used to be in the Miss Marples in England,
Right.
Okay.
got to work with him. And yeah, I guess I've been really lucky to work with some amazing people. One guy, he was just, this guy, as I said before, was a newsreader. He was the most amazing guy. He used to read 6 lines ahead, right? Drive his car at the same time, and we were recording this book, and he'd go into this la la land, and we used to have to pull him back out. and we were doing Clive James. Now, if you know Clive James,
Okay. Yeah.
well, he actually took on Clive James's voice. He used to do all these ads with different
okay.
voices,
Yeah, he could.
and I had to pull him back. And I'm going, nah, you can't do it. You've slipped into Clive James again. He's got to read it.
You gotta be you.
But yeah, that was. And we had some funny
yeah.
situations.
So, John, yeah, Joyce told you it was a bit chilly here, but actually today was sunny and it's quite a bit warmer. So
That's true, but they were saying Melbourne is so cold, and it's not any colder than anywhere else we've been, I don't think.
no,
so far.
Melbourne
No.
doesn't get that cold. Like my auntie, when she hasn't been out for a long while, but when she comes out here, you know, it's 10 degrees outside and she's got short sleeves.
Right.
Right now, she lives in the Midlands,
right.
and yeah, she goes out short sleeves. You know, we're sitting there going jumper, freezing. You know,
Exactly.
but then for us, you know, summer is 40 degrees
right.
Celsius, so
yeah,
it's
Yes.
it's really
110,
hot.
yeah.
Yeah, 105.
And-
yeah.
and
I
I
understand that.
one place I went to for work in Queensland called Cloncurry. It's one of the hottest places in Australia. Marble Bar, Iron Bar, Marble Bar is probably the hottest, but this has had, you know, 50 plus degrees recorded.
Oh my
and
goodness.
and you walk outside and it's like, whoa, and you walk inside, and you put a jumper on because the girls in the office
turn
have
the
it
air on so far.
down to 18 degrees and you freeze.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And so when you walk out of the office, it's like walking into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, suddenly you, whoa,
Yeah.
it's really hot. But that's a different heat too, so it's more of a dry heat rather than humidity. So if you go to Singapore, it's very humid.
Good heavens, that's
Um,
hot.
Yeah, it is. It's very
Yeah.
humid.
I don't
We're
care if
suddenly
it's
getting
not
a lot more
humid, it's
views.
hot,
People
hot,
are
hot.
popping in.
Starting
We got
26.
three.
Wow.
We got 3 viewers listed, although I might be
Wow.
one of those.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Considering we were, as I said, Mystic came in yesterday. I was doing it about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, just making sure I could do the live stream after
Right.
all the disasters I'd had. And it was 3 a.m. and he was still there, and I went, well, it's only a short one, but yeah, he came in. And I was surprised that for a short 2-minute video, I've already had 14 views. And I was going to delete it. And when I saw the views, I went, oh, okay.
Don't forget that. It's good for
Right.
your analytics.
But it was just me, and I wasn't even saying much. It was mostly just
Right.
Messing about, right?
messing
Yeah,
about.
Right.
Yeah. And I should be concentrating on what we're seeing. But anyway,
Right.
we're having fun, aren't we?
Oh yeah, this is amazing. I mean, as I said, we keep exchanging. The weird thing is, and Joyce and I have talked about this in my live stream in the past. Like when we went to the UK, that's the first time we really met other YouTubers.
Yeah.
And again, we're meeting Alan Wiles from Dragon Junction or
Yep.
Tim JD Dowd, the first one we met.
Yeah, Tim
And
was our first.
we're like, oh, it's you, the guy I watch on my TV.
Yeah.
But he's staring at us like we're movie
Like
stars.
movie stars, yeah.
Or-
It's like,
Well,
it's just us.
No, it's
I've had the same thing. My mate who lives in Druin, Dave, I've done a couple of
hey,
things
there's
with
Rick
him.
Foltz. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Rick. He lives in Druin, and he took my old HO when we downsized.
Okay.
I sold it to him, and we became friends.
Sure.
So we went to the local show in Gippsland, in Morwell,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I videoed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're walking in, and we were paying the money, and I hadn't got the video on, right? And this
Right.
guy comes up to me, and I know you. I went, do you?
Really?
And I went, no. And he said, no, I know you. So I put the camera on, and he said, I watch your live streams. I
Oh,
watch your
nice.
videos.
Oh,
Still live?
And
Yeah,
yes,
we
we
are.
are.
Tell Artie to get on his phone. Well, he doesn't have to be on camera. He
Doesn't
should get
have
to
on
be.
the
Yeah,
live
but
stream
I
on his
imagine
phone.
Have you turned camera? Oh no, you've
We've
still
got
Hi
a few
everyone.
people. Yep. Oh, hang on. We'll put you on.
but yeah, it's. I'm
Yeah,
still
just have
waiting
him
for
join
that
the
to
chat.
happen
My wife,
someday.
Heather.
He doesn't even have to be here.
I mean,
It doesn't want to be
I'm
seen, I think.
Yeah, but he
very
doesn't have
close
see
to
you.
2,000 subscribers, which
Yes,
is
Rick.
a
I
big
know,
milestone.
That's amazing.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. 1,000 was a weird milestone to hit. I mean, when you start off, you don't think you'll get 100 subscribers,
Yeah, I know.
and then you get 100. You go, well, maybe I can get 125.
Who are these
Uh,
people?
Yeah.
Oh, I always.
Haven't
Well,
done a lot.
I've said that.
Right.
I've said that a lot,
It's
and
not
now
100. It's like
and you know when I
don't know
had
how.
when I
One
had
of them is.
I had 100, 120 subscribers.
I went,
Channels
whoa.
with 1,000 were big, and
Yeah, those were
2,000 was
huge
like, wow,
channels,
you
I
know.
know.
And now I'm closing on 2,000, and I still, you know, there's obviously 2,000 very mentally ill people out there.
But haven't got something
Yeah.
better to do.
To at the time, I mean, but it's, you know, because you go out, and I've yet to have that experience where somebody says, "I've seen your live stream."
Yeah, just a random stranger. We haven't.
Yeah.
had that. Yeah.
I've met fellow YouTubers,
Uh-huh.
but like you know, I walk in your house and I go, "It's an honor to meet you."
No, but it's
And the thing is, like, no, it's my honor, and I'm like,
Thank you.
well, because you've come here to see me.
right,
You know,
right,
I'm being
And
honest.
you've come a
like
distance.
you've come to Australia, right? You've gone to Sydney, but it's like 8 hours drive
Right.
to come and see me.
Right.
Right now, that's a real honour. I'm really touched.
Well,
yeah.
To be honest,
But
I'm really
it's an
touched.
8-hour drive to go to a niece's wedding. I mean, not to diminish that,
No,
but still,
no.
if it can be done, it will be
Right,
done. You know,
right,
I
yeah,
certainly don't want to
that's
walk in and say, "You may kiss the ring."
No, but I've been
know.
watching your channel for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, I know. You've been a long time friend, which is why if we had a chance to come see you, because it's not, well, you're one of my subscribers, it's I'm subscribed to you, you're
Right.
subscribed to me, and we've talked and chatted offline.
Online,
You're the
yeah.
only person besides Joyce and me to actually sing on.
Yeah, well, I'm really embarrassed about that because I wasn't really that well when I did
Right.
it.
Right.
I was still recovering from.
But at least you have that excuse.
Yeah.
No, but
Okay, wait, no, understand where I'm going there. You have that. I don't have an excuse. I just sound bad, period. Although my last song, actually, people were saying they liked my voice.
I haven't seen the last one because I'm still struggling to
Right.
Right.
watch things to concentrate. Like, doing.
I did a
being
heavy
on
metal.
a live stream to answer everybody is just still a little bit too much.
I
because
did
of
Judas Priest.
because of because of the dizziness.
Right.
I
It's hard to
still
watch,
struggle.
right? Yeah.
Sure.
So it's easier for me to do a production than live stream, but I guess I've disappeared off the YouTube for nearly 2 years
Yes.
because of
Yeah.
major operation.
Well,
Right.
I had to go through so much before I went.
Yeah.
Before I had the operation, I was
Right.
given a trial, which was a big trial for pre-surgery.
Yes.
And I actually got to do exercises, so they built me up for the operation. Now, I was
Right.
supposed to have a 6 to 8 hour operation, right?
Yeah.
And it ended
Get
up
you stronger.
it ended up 16 hours.
Hours.
However, one of the
Oh.
things I couldn't say, and I constantly got this from the nurses, gee, you're strong,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right? And I was struggling, I can tell you I was struggling.
Right.
But the things I could do, when I was all wired up, I could move, and they could see that I had the strength in my arms and my legs.
Right.
But I couldn't say, hang on a minute, I've just done 8 weeks of pre-surgery
Right.
exercise as part of a study. Couldn't say that.
But they
Exactly.
see patients like you, so they can
So-
compare, and you were strong. To
So
them.
I was, yeah. I was really lucky. But and then sort of I'm now on this nasty drug that
Yes.
Yeah.
it's because what I've got is because they had to take out my spleen and
Right.
all sorts of things.
Okay.
I have really high count of platelets, which is really basically causes strokes,
Okay.
heart attacks.
Sure.
So we've got to get it down.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Oh,
and this
medicines
drug
are
is
rough.
so nasty.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
just you cannot
I'm
believe
very
it's.
sorry.
It
No.
takes.
What you're doing.
No,
It's-
it's all right. It just takes me. So
It's
we've
okay.
just upped it again. Just
Mhm.
2 weeks, 3 weeks
Ah.
ago, we upped the dose. So we went down and we've gone back up again. And
Right.
every time the dose changes, I really struggle.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
Because the nausea and the dizziness come back, and
Right.
I am taking CBD oil, which is cannabis, and
Uh-huh.
that helps.
Good.
That helps.
That's
And my
very good.
doctor also gives me acupuncture, which helps.
Okay.
Oh, good.
That's good.
And
Good.
and she's particularly treating me for the nausea as well as the other
Right.
things.
And
Right.
And my wound, she actually does. So I've got this big wound. She actually does acupuncture on my wound to help, and the muscles
To
down the
help heal
sides.
it. Oh, very
Right.
cool.
So, but I feel
Little
guilty
bit of
losing 2 years of.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
hard to come back. I mean, and just
Well, you
over
have
the
a hard
years,
job.
so many
So hard to be the
channels
support.
come and go.
Yeah,
Of course,
yes,
people
yes.
just lose.
Yeah.
They lose interest,
Yeah, don't tell
and
me
then
this
there are the
is-
people.
Yes.
There was
Yes.
a gentleman that I was becoming close to, George. He was known as White Wall Wheels, MOH,
Yep.
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yep.
And
I remember.
yeah, and
We lost them.
he's just before we went to Germany last year, I got literally my daughter came home from dropping us off at the airport, texted Dad, you got a package. And then the next day when we arrived in Germany, George texted me and said, I see, did you get my package? I said, no, we had already left for the airport. And we're talking, and he says, well, do you want me to tell you what's in it? I said, no, leave it as a surprise for when I come back. And then I can open it up and really give you a big thank you. And all he typed was okay. He said, okay.
Yeah.
That was the last I ever heard from him. He died.
Wow.
And I, to this day, I carry that, like, did he want to tell me so that,
should I have said yes?
like, maybe he
Yeah,
knew
like,
something was up. I don't know. And of course, we had
Anthony's gonna do a video.
so and we had Chris Whittingham, which we met him, and then we came back, and he passed away. So when there are people you get to know, even if you've never physically met, because we've talked.
Yeah.
We have talked. We have chatted. We have talked. But it makes you closer than if it was just a couple of text messages.
Well, we have things in common like grandkids and,
Right.
Oh, sure.
in
But-
the interest of not so much for you now, but for me.
Sitting
in
and
trains.
meeting a person, or even like Artie, where we chatted video chats for a couple of years.
Yep.
That's so great. But then Artie comes to visit us, and it just takes it another level of reality. But it's the beauty. But you get attached to these people when some channels. Yeah, I follow this channel, but
They
you don't
become
talk to the
friends.
person other than to
Yeah.
say hi in their chats or something like that. You don't talk. But when you talk to them offline, you talk to them on Facebook, you talk to them via text message or whatever else, where you getting away from the train and the live streaming stuff, and it's just you communicate on a different human level. You grow attached to these people. Yes, we have things in common. We have things in common. We have shared interests. You were a very positive supporter of my music videos, which
I think
was
they're
very.
Very well. No, they are really the comedy's good.
I mean, the
Yeah,
the courage
A
to
Wild West one.
the courage to put them out.
Yeah.
It
It is,
if
I
you do
know.
a production to something you've made, to put the courage alone to put something like that out, especially for me, where
Right.
A, I know my voice stinks, and B, I don't have the studio to really make great videos, but I do the best I can and spend
Yeah.
hours on it. And then with Matt Clark, you were very supportive of that's the Western.
Yeah.
Matt Clark, you
Right.
were very supportive of that. And
Well, it was so clever. I mean, there were so many things,
Well,
and there
We
was
think
lots of
so,
things.
but it doesn't nearly get the love it should have.
Well, there's lots of things there that were very
Huge,
subtle,
right.
and people,
Yeah.
like Telly Savalas and
Right.
I can't think of all, but the Abbott.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Who's
all
up
those-
first?
Yeah, the Abbott and Costello,
all
Yeah,
those-
no,
he's
that's
that.
out of the woods.
Yeah.
This is out of the woods. That there is in the woods.
Yeah, all those sort of really subtle
Right.
pieces that
Right.
I really enjoyed.
Sure.
And I think that was brilliant.
And we the thing is, it's fun. It's fun to do it, which is why we do it. It was fun to do it. But when somebody else likes it, there is a sense of,
Oh, yeah.
oh, you're one of my crazies. We share the same crazy,
Yeah.
Well, you like the,
the French call it
you like the humor.
the folie de famille,
Yeah.
the folly of the family, a
It's
shared
very affirming
insanity.
when that happens.
Yeah,
isn't
it
It
is.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was no way we were coming to Australia and not going to come and see you. We've known you too well, even if we're not talking every day or whatever. There's no way I could pop in and be this close. 8 hours, okay? No, that's not close. Well, you know what? 8-hour drive. It's a 4-hour drive. Stop in a hotel, and then it's another 4-hour
Well,
drive.
it's a heck
not
of a
big
lot
deal.
closer than how many thousands miles.
But here,
it's
an 8-hour drive is nothing.
Nothing. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
when
You know,
wanna go
we
to
have to
see-
fly 8 hours. So from
Right.
Melbourne, when I'm going to England, which is like 22 hours,
Right.
Right.
8 hours is across Australia
Well,
Yeah.
because they actually fly right across.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
To Singapore, from the end of Australia, it's 2 hours, but it's a 10-hour, 8-hour trip, depending whether you've got a tailwind
Yeah.
or.
From
You know,
Melbourne.
and I've done a lot of flying, but not overseas. I've only done a few
Question.
trips.
Are you going to? It's 12:30.
Oh,
What's
right.
your plan for?
Well, we
how
haven't-
much longer for live stream?
I don't know. We can wrap it up shortly.
We can wrap it up
Okay.
Somebody
because
s-
I
there's a
think
few
Artie said you
comments.
guys wanted to do lunch.
Yeah,
wanted
we
to do
could
lunch.
go.
Okay, so we probably should get
Whatever
doing
you
that
like.
then.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We were just,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you know,
We
it
were
was whatever
fairly
you wanted.
flexible,
We
but
were
yeah.
just flexible.
Right.
And because it's a public holiday, not even sure what's open.
Right. But also we, of course, as I've already mentioned, we do not want to stress or strain. Or
No,
anything.
you won't.
Oh,
I'm fine.
Right.
I mean, I feel sick. I'm not
All right, so you'll
We'll
soon.
end-
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go back and see what I have. Bye, everyone.
you know, I'm okay. Well, the thing is, that while I keep going, I'm okay.
Right.
When I stop,
Right.
That's when you feel it.
I stop.
Sure.
yeah,
understood.
and I'll have a nap.
Yeah.
And then I'll be fine. But,
Okay.
you know, like I feel really like I want to vomit at the moment. And
Okay.
dizzy, I'm almost tripped over before, but I still cope with it because I've had to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
can't do
no
anything.
Other,
I
there's no
can't
other
do anything.
choice. Yeah.
You know, I
Right.
take a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
I take 3 different drugs just to compensate the nausea and the dizziness.
Right.
Right.
Right? And it's just,
Oh
yeah.
boy, that's
It-
something.
It is really just, yeah.
Yeah, John, Greg's
Oh,
a talker and a great storyteller for sure. Anthony will give him a run for his money though.
Well, I don't know. I've got some good stories. I won't tell you about my mid-air plane incident that I had over Western Australia where I went. I was at the back. We're on a 80-seater jet, and we're going from Kununurra, which is up about 50 miles from the top of Australia, and we're going down to Broome, and we're about to land in Broome, and the plane was late. And so they were holding the jet. Now that's pretty, you know, the jet's been sitting on the runway for an hour with its engines running, right? Anyway, we're running late, so I thought I'd better go to the toilet because I'm not going to get a chance to. It's a 2.5 hour trip, you know.
Right.
Anyway, so we're getting close, so I get up, had my hands on the back of the seat. Next minute, my legs are in the air.
Oh.
The plane had dropped 10,000 feet.
Oh my goodness.
All the trays were down the aisle,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So when we got straight or vertical again, right?
Right.
I could hear these noise, help, help, and here's the 2 air hostesses in front of the toilet with the trolleys on their legs.
Oh no, they're stuck.
So I
yeah.
pulled the trolleys off,
You rescued them.
and so they're starting to pack up, and the pilot's going, everybody seatbelts, we're about to land, and there's all this rubbish.
Oh golly, so you never went to the bathroom.
And I didn't get to go.
Oh, you probably did, just not in the.
No.
Because first you say it, then you do it.
And I was the last one out, so by the time I walked across the runway,
Uh-huh.
got in the plane and sat next to the guy and said, oh, busted in the toilet. So were we haven't been allowed to because I've been sitting, right? Anyway, so we get up and there's this huge queue for the toilet.
Oh no, there's
Anyway,
never a queue for the men.
We get into West... Oh, well, but
Yeah, right.
anyway, we go into Western Australia, right? And they say, oh, you've got to go down to baggage because my baggage is still in Broome and I'm in Perth.
Oh.
And anyway, so that was fine. Go and see the baggage guys. And I walked back in and they had to test me again. And I came up for a bomb that had a bomb on me. I was positive on the bomb testing and I went,
What?
and I just threw my hands up and said, okay, take me away. I've had such a
Right.
bad day.
What the heck?
Might as well end it on a high note.
Yeah, well, I was just, and anyway, I was slightly sarcastic about it. I wasn't mean, you know,
Right,
but
yeah.
I was just, you know, just
Whatever.
another thing, you know.
Yeah.
And apparently
one
it was from the plane, or, you know, with the engines running, and we were walking across the tarmac, we were getting all this crap on us.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
And so we recalibrated the machine, and so I left.
Yeah.
I had to be at the plane was supposed to be, I think, a 9 o'clock flight, so I had to be at the airport at 8. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
these
got
are stories
home-
I don't need to share now. John's like, we were landing in Fukuoka, Japan. Wifey and I held hands and looked at each other and said, this might be it.
Oh,
Yeah, these
no,
are-
these are
no.
stories we don't want to hear.
And I got
Later,
home.
when we're home, it'll
I
be
got
okay.
home at 3 a.m.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was because of the time difference. It's a 6-hour
Yeah.
flight.
Right.
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
And it was
I'm going to have
this-
to
oh, it was
double up
and-
my
and
meds
then-
on the flight home.
and then I just got to sleep about 5 o'clock in the morning,
Oh.
and at 6 o'clock Qantas rings me and says, we've got your baggage, we're going to deliver it. So I had an hour's sleep.
Oh. Yikes.
But that's the worst one. But I've done lots of, you know, I've done probably 300-400 hours around Australia
Right.
alone, just
Sure.
for work.
Right.
'Cause I
Right.
used to travel a
Most
lot.
of those flights weren't like
Oh
that.
no, only the one. That is the only one I've ever had that really.
Yeah, very
I can't
memorable,
say
though.
that I was scared because I I didn't have time
I'm
to
You
be.
gonna
didn't
be
have time
scared.
to be.
And it was really funny
Right.
looking up at my legs in the air. It was like,
Wow.
you know, it was just-
Oh my.
it was really bizarre.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't have time to think of anything bad.
Yeah. Right. That's better than the chump who was sitting there with a seatbelt
Yeah,
on,
I
going,
know.
"Oh,
Precisely, yeah.
we're gonna die."
Yeah, well, there's Miss Pollyanna Sunshine again, finding the silver lining in the cloud of.
Always.
Oh, dude, but yeah. So,
Well, on that note.
All right.
I guess we should probably end
Now
the
that we've
stream.
given Anthony something to think about over the next week before he heads home.
Oh,
Right.
that's rare though, but you've got to understand that's in the tropics, well, sort of
Yeah.
coming between the tropics because,
Right.
you know, here we have several different tropics.
Right.
Okay.
And Western Australia's a pretty hot
Uh-huh.
place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Broome is a fair way up. Like it's, I think,
Okay.
4 or 5 hours from Perth,
Okay.
air time.
Okay.
So it's like 2 days drive,
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. Anyway,
Okay.
I guess we
Okay.
should end the stream. So,
Yeah.
All right.
um,
Well, this was fun.
A certain unnamed guest
certain unknown
It's
guests, yeah.
getting a little
is
fancy.
probably wondering we've been ignoring him for an hour or so.
Oh wow! When you end, you end.
Good night, folks.
Good night, folks.
We're still live.
We're still
We
live.
haven't
Are we
ended.
okay?
We haven't ended yet. We're still live. So
All right.
thanks for watching, people.
Oh, thanks.
And thanks,
John, and if you're still here,
thanks, Anthony and Joyce, for joining me.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
just
Oh, this is
blown
amazing.
away.
Rick.
I'm blown
I
away.
love seeing your trains
Oh,
and
aren't you?
everything.
And that is the truth. Millions of people are landing safely as we speak.
So
Without
thank,
the trauma.
thank you for joining me, and thank you for being so good with
Good night, folks.
being here. So it's
It's
good
all
night
a
from,
bunch of horse poop.
and it's good night from me,
Good night.
from
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
it's bye.
Bye now.
Bedtime
There
is
it goes.
now. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a